Now available on Tata Sky channel number 526.
Hello and welcome to the Property News. You're watching Magic Bricks Now, India's first property channel. I'm Amita Balachandra. Let's take a look at the top headlines at this hour. Big push for luxury residential space. Global investment bank Macquarie all set to ink a deal worth more than $500 million with Tata Housing. Magic Bricks Now gets you exclusive details. Taiwanese consumer electronic manufacturing giant Foxconn is close to sealing a deal valued at 180 crore rupee for a 600-acre plot of land in Khalapur, Raigad district of Maharashtra. That is another Magic Bricks Now exclusive. Also on the show, bullish on Mumbai's real estate market, says Piramal Realty's Anand Piramal. Our editor Faye D'Souza catches up with the executive director of Piramal Realty in this Magic Bricks Now exclusive. We get you a sneak peek. Straight up to a big Magic Bricks Now exclusive here. Macquarie could soon ink a $500 million deal with Tata Housing. Magic Bricks Now learns that the global investment bank is the front runner to sign a deal with Tata Housing to fund its upcoming premium and luxury residential projects. If sealed, this deal will mark Macquarie's foray into Indian real estate. Now, to date, the bank has invested in infrastructure projects only. Remember, Magic Bricks Now was the first one to report that Tata Housing was in talks with private equity firms to set up a platform to raise construction finance for its luxury residential portfolio. My colleague Disha Shah, who got you the story first, has been tracking this mega deal and gets us this exclusive details.
Tata Housing is set to sign a deal with private equity firm Macquarie Infrastructure and Real Assets to build premium and luxury housing. Remember, Magic Bricks Now was the first one to tell you about this mega deal where Tata Housing was also in talks with other private equity firms like JP Morgan, Standard Chartered Bank and Singapore-based GIC. And what we are hearing from the sources close to the development is that Macquarie is the front runner, where the deal could be valued at $500 million. However, when we contacted both Tata Housing and Macquarie, both the companies declined to comment at the moment. An important thing to note here is that Macquarie has been planning to invest in real estate for quite some time. In fact, it has also put together a special team specifically to make investments in the real estate market. Till date, Macquarie has been investing only in infrastructure projects. But if this transaction gets through, if this deal gets sealed, this will make Macquarie's foray into the Indian real estate market. Another important thing, what we know so far from the sources, is that the company is offering 30:70 deal to all these projects, where Tata Housing could share 70% of project profits with Macquarie. And under this platform deal, homes will be constructed in top 5 cities, namely Mumbai, Bengaluru, Chennai, Kolkata and Delhi, where homes will be priced anywhere between 3 to 10 crore rupees. Lastly, sources also tell us that the deal could be expected to close by end of this month, which is April this year. This is Disha Shah from Magic Bricks Now.
Well, Deal Street is clearly buzzing because it's not just Macquarie that's inking a mega deal. There are other deals on the block as well. Taiwan-based manufacturing giant Foxconn is on the hunt for land yet again in Maharashtra. This is another Magic Bricks Now exclusive, this time in the Khalapur-Karjat stretch of Raigad district in Maharashtra. This plot, we hear, has to be freshly acquired from the state government arm MIDC. MIDC is in the process of acquiring 7 to 8 villages in this stretch and has already sent out notifications to farmers. The compensation package, however, has not been decided yet. Post this, of course, MIDC is going to lease out 600 acres of land to Foxconn. Sources tell us that the deal is valued at 180 crore rupee and the acquisition process will take another 2 months. Remember, we told you a couple of days ago that Foxconn has already acquired about 1,500 acres of land in the Talegaon district of Pune. This time, of course, it's betting on Khalapur. Of course, we'll keep a close watch on this deal for you as well. Moving on to the national capital now. In the national capital, the much sought after upscale Lutyens Bungalow Zone is set to shrink. The Delhi Urban Art Commission has recommended 8 super posh residential areas in Lutyens, Delhi to be excluded from the Lutyens Bungalow Zone. What this essentially means is that the areas which are proposed to be excluded from the marked Lutyens zone will see a more relaxed floor area ratio, and builders will possibly get permissions to construct high-rise buildings in the area. To tell us more about the changes we can expect and how this will impact the property market, we have our reporter Deepa Rana, who has her ear on the ground as usual. What impact, Deepa, tell us what impact this exclusion will have for these upscale residential zones.
I'm standing at the Ashoka Road in Lutyens, Delhi. Lutyens, Delhi has been a home to some of the biggest business barons in the country, including Naveen Jindal, Dabur, KP Singh and more. Now this Ashoka Road may not be part of the Lutyens Bungalow Zone soon. Yes, you heard it right. According to a report submitted by the Delhi Urban Arts Commission pending before the Urban Development Ministry, says that the total area in the Lutyens zone should be brought down from 28.73 square meters back to 23.60 square meters, which will mean back to the colonial era original plan. And this also means that there's going to be relaxation in the FAR. Experts tell us that increase in FAR will also mean more supply to the soon-to-be ex-Lutyen addresses. Remember that the last transaction which happened in Lutyens, Delhi was when VC Burman, Chairman Emeritus of Dabur Group, had bought a bungalow in Golf Links for an amount of rupees 160 crore. The total built-up area of that bungalow was 9,000 square meters but was sold at 12.2 lakh per square yards.
All right, to give us more perspective on this, of course, joining us on the phone line is Ashwinder Raj Singh, CEO Residential Services of GLL India. Thank you so much for joining us here on Magic Bricks. Now, Mr. Singh, first of all, some of the posh areas in Lutyens, Delhi, including Golf Links, Bengali Market, etc., are going to be excluded from the Lutyens Bungalow Zone. How do you think this will impact the property market in Delhi?
See, I think this is going to be a welcome news because all of this is going to give much more flexibility to people who want to be part of this prestigious locality. And I also expect some leading developers to acquire lands, plots in this, posh area and build, some sort of apartment. So what will happen is the per square feet price might not go down. In fact, it may go up. But, when apartments come in, the size of apartments will go down, FAR will go up. So, you will have apartments like in 2,000 square feet, 3,000 square feet, and so on. So the overall ability of people to buy in and the segment that can look at such properties will increase. And obviously, there will be more demand that will get generated.
This will also mean relaxation on the floor area ratio. Tell us what that means for home buyers. Can we expect a rise in the residential market in the national capital?
I feel the prices will definitely rise because with the rise in FAR, the number of apartments coming in will increase. So, where you could only have one bungalow, you might have 8, 10, 12 or even 20 apartments coming in. So the per unit cost will go down. And that is where the per square feet prices may go up. And so will be the demand because there are a lot of sitting ducks who would be looking at this keenly and will definitely go ahead and take their decisions.
All right, Mr. Singh, thank you so much for joining us here on Magic Bricks Now. Moving on now, on to the massive crisis Deonar, as we keep a very close eye on the action being taken by the government here on Magic Bricks Now. The committee that was appointed by the Bombay High Court to study the garbage crisis in Deonar is scheduled to meet on April 20th. The committee includes a retired IPS officer, a retired IAS officer, and an official from National Environment Engineering Research Institute, an official from Indian Institute of Technology, the petitioner Rajkumar Sharma and Vijay Balamwar, Deputy Municipal Commissioner Zone 4, The committee will discuss how to tackle the current garbage crisis and the way forward. They will also review the steps taken by BMC to tackle the crisis till date. Of course, on Magic Bricks Now, we'll keep a close watch on this for you. Meanwhile, in Bengaluru, violent protests broke out today as over 15,000 garment workers took to the streets to protest against the government's proposed revision of Provident Fund norms. The protests took place in the Hosur area of Bengaluru. As protesters, the police were forced to resort to lathi charge and the use of tear gas. The protests also resulted in huge traffic jams. The workers want the government to roll back a new rule in which they cannot access the employer's contribution to their provident fund until they are 58 years of age. The government, meanwhile, has put all the restrictions on PF withdrawals on hold for 3 months as it assesses the situation. Under the changed rules, people can withdraw only a part of their provident fund before retirement. Bullish on Mumbai's real estate market, says Piramal Realty's Anand Piramal. Our editor Faye D'Souza caught up with the executive director of Piramal Realty, Anand Piramal, in this Magic Bricks Now exclusive. Take a look at the sneak peek.
You're currently developing, from what I understand, 10 million square feet of real estate across the city of Mumbai. But you also foresee this company being a 10 to 15 billion dollar nimble gorilla, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
How's it going to go from here to there? What's the plan?
It's the 10 to 15 billion dollars was frankly a misquote. What I was actually saying is that there are opportunities to create large companies in India, because today there's no Sun and Kai or Emaar of real estate in India. There's no company like a
Is
TCS.
That what you see yourself as TCS of real estate?
I see ourselves as in the next few years, the aspiration is to create one of the most admired real estate companies in India. Admired just not in terms of scale or profitability, but also the impact that we have on the lives of our customers and the progress of our country.
No, because if we look at 10 million square feet, where a lot of others are building, and Godrej has gone up to, I think, 100 million at this point, in terms of what they have got under construction. And it's an ambitious plan you have. And from what I understand, you're going to stay with Mumbai. You're not looking at a national presence. How do you go from where you are right now with 6 projects in the pipeline to being scaled up as one of the most admired companies in India?
Yeah, so I don't think there are companies who do a lot of joint developments. So people, there are companies that may have 50, 60, 70 projects, but their stake in each one is actually very, very small. Typically the landowner invests and then they get some share of the profit and the revenue and management fees, etc., etc. So I think to create a significant size company, you don't need to be all over India. In fact, most developers who have gone national have failed going national. If you look across the world, if you look at Emaar, if you look at Sun and Kai, if you look at DLF in Gurgaon, 80-90% of their wealth is often created in one city. I think Bombay, still if India grows at 8-9% over the next few years, Bombay will grow at a faster rate. And there will be a lot of opportunities to build world-class projects. And I believe customers would pay a premium for quality. So I do feel that that being in one city, there's a lot of opportunity in Bombay itself. Even the largest developers in India today often are broadly around one city.
All right, quick reminder to all our viewers, don't forget to tune in to Magic Bricks Now at 9:30 p.m. tonight to catch the full interview on Concrete Dialogues, where our channel's editor, Faye D'Souza, is in conversation with Anand Piramal, Executive Director of Piramal Realty. Moving on, in a country where project delays are a huge problem, imagine saving half of the construction time with the help of technology. KEF Infra, which specializes in end-to-end off-site construction technology, has collaborated with Embassy Group to construct their 7B commercial building spanning across 1.5 million square feet. KEF claims that with the help of technology, Embassy Group could save over 14 months of construction time. Rahul Dayama caught up with Mike Holland, CEO of Embassy Office Parks, to know the synergies this collaboration will bring and the potential of this technology in India. Let's listen in.
Well, as you know, we've got about 14 million square feet under design and construction across our portfolio. So we look at different ways in which we can procure those buildings, maybe a dozen new buildings. Each one is approximately 1 million square feet. So historically, we've looked at in situ type of traditional approach. We thought that we would look into the precast solution at Embassy Tech Village on this particular project, which is about 9 lakh square feet of leasable building, 1.5 million built up area. Why? Because speed, the precast solution is clearly significantly faster. The issues of quality, you can get a tighter quality product when it's factory built. So many factors come into it. We've also got a good feeling, good assessment about working with KEF.
Also, how will this impact your balance sheet and also the turnaround time that you'll be saving with this partnership?
Yeah. So I think in terms of time, as I mentioned earlier on, we are in business in a relatively high interest rate environment. They're coming down, which is great, but it's still high by any global standard. So in terms of return on capital employed, whatever we can do to speed up that construction to customer process so that the time that the customer can get in is accelerated, that's beneficial to us from return on capital employed.
We've been talking to a few developers who are saying that as far as commercial space demand in Bangalore is concerned, we're probably reaching a saturation level. Probably in 2 to 3 years, demand would really outsupply supply. What's your take on the general scenario?
Yeah, I mean, there is very strong demand. There's no question. Our portfolio is running at 97% occupied. We just this week we've leased. We've done 2 deals of 300 plus 150,000 square feet on buildings that won't even become vacant until later this year. So we're leasing buildings before they are vacant. That's a reflection of the demand-supply situation in the market.
All right, our reporter Rahul Dayama also caught up with the CEO of KEF Infra, Sumesh Sachar, and asked him about this collaboration. Take a look.
Embassy is a valued customer for us. We have been engaged by them to design and build a structure, a main office building and a multi-level car park, 900,000 square feet, roughly thereabouts each. It's 1.5 million in total build, 2 basements, G+10.
Also, what milestone are you looking at? What targets do you have as far as the Indian market is concerned in terms of expansion plans? You do have a manufacturing unit here in Krishnagiri.
Yes, we do.
So in terms of in the next 2020, how would you want your India business to pan out?
We are very, very, very bullish in India. We expect that by 2020, we will have at least $1.5 billion in revenue. We will have at least 3 manufacturing hub and spoke models in and around the nation. We will have the ability to build 16 million square feet. But the key is actually, Rahul, is that it's not just about structure. It's about the integrated approach, right? They engage with us on the upfront design and engineering. So this value proposition we only see growing in India tremendously, and we'll see that by 2020 we expect to have over $1 billion.
Lastly, any other big deals or customers that you have lined up?
Keep watching and waiting.
Shifting focus to Pune now, the Pune Municipal Corporation seems to be on track with their smart city development. Post receiving the first tranche of funds from the centre, The civic body recently held its first meet to decide the future course of their Special Purpose Vehicle or SPV. Rushi Deshpande has been tracking the story and she gets us details.
It looks like the Pune Municipal Corporation or the PMC is going all guns blazing when it comes to transforming Pune into a smart city. Now, the newly appointed body for this project, that is the Pune Smart City Development Corporation or the PSCDCL, recently held its first meet regarding the SPV or the Special Purpose Vehicle. So, we get into the details of what was exactly discussed during this meet for the SPV. First off, the Pune Municipal Corporation announced 15 projects, 8 out of which will be implemented at the pan city level, which is entirely for the entire city, and 7 of them will specifically be targeted towards Aund, Baner and Balewadi. Remember that Aund, Baner, Balewadi is essentially the area that was proposed for retrofitting in Pune's smart city proposal. Let me take you through what projects were announced by the PMC. We have retrofitting of the footpaths, we also have redesigning streets, we have LED lighting on the streets, an e-governance center to bring about ease of doing business, and an app that will be introduced by the Pune Municipal Corporation in order to track the buses of PMPML, that is Pune's transport body. Now remember that the e-tendering process for the same will begin soon, and the project implementation for these quick win projects, as it was told to us by the PMC Commissioner exclusively, will begin in 3 months from now. Remember that the next meet regarding Pune's smart city transformation will take place next month, where the infrastructure projects of Pune and the status going forward will be decided.
Moving on, IT capital Bengaluru will soon house the biggest luxury hotel brands in the country. In fact, within 5 years, the city will boast the maximum number of luxury hotel rooms in the country. Suesha Sawant gets us a special report on the buzzing hospitality sector.
If you're a frequent traveller to Bengaluru, then you might just be spoiled for choice when it comes to choosing the hotel you'd want to stay in. The city is all set to add more than 5,000 rooms in the next 5 years. What's more, over 1,000 of these rooms will be added in the luxury and upscale segments. A slew of luxury hotel brands are reportedly working on plans to better serve India's Silicon Valley.
Bangalore as a city has a good spread of different segments of business. So it's not purely IT driven, although that's a major one. It's a state capital. It has a lot of defense and central institutes. It has manufacturing, exports, automobiles, biosciences, life sciences. So it has a good variety of, and it's also a destination for transit from South India, the airport. So therefore Bangalore's fundamentals are very strong for growth.
The hospitality segment is looking up across the country. Our own inquiries suggest that the sector will add over 59,000 rooms in the next 5 years. In the next 2 to 3 years, Bangalore will see active development with a total of 1,716 rooms add to its stock, followed by Mumbai, Kolkata and Chennai. In the luxury segment, Bangalore will lead with a total of 435 rooms, followed by Ahmedabad with 345 rooms. Bangalore again leads in the upscale segment, followed by Kolkata. However, Chennai leads in the medium and budget segments with close to 900 rooms in each category. Even regional nodes like Jaipur, Ahmedabad, Goa and Chennai are seeing active development.
A lot of money is now in the secondary cities. People might want a luxury resort in the vicinity for a quick break. So that, in my opinion, markets would be driven by wealth in each of these areas, the need to travel for a little quick break, attracting overseas guests.
You'd be surprised that even a place like Haridwar, now with Patanjali having their major production there and they becoming a 6,000 crore plus company, there's going to be development there too. Indore is up and coming. It's the bright star in Madhya Pradesh that will see the development. Places like Lucknow, you have Vadodara.
For all these years, hoteliers have mostly eyed areas around the airport, tourist spots or central business districts to extract the maximum business. Analysts suggest, however, that newer development is slowly shifting towards new business zones. Groups like Carlson, Residor and Intercontinental have announced as many as 16 to 18 properties to come to the market by the end of 2017. Although analysts believe that this could be a tough target to achieve in the given time span. Point being, with such a huge supply of hotel rooms coming into the country in the next 5 years, we'd certainly be spoiled for choice while choosing a hotel. This is Suesha Sound from Magic Bricks Now.
With that, it's a wrap here on the property news. Thanks for watching.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at Magic Bricks Now. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.